In 2023, I packed up my life and moved to Thailand. It was something I dreamed about for years, but just 6 months later, I was back home. I failed. Looking back, I can pinpoint exactly how and why it happened. So, why did I fail? So my first mistake happened even before I arrived in Thailand. I was doing online coaching at the time. I started to earn around about £1,000 a month. Now, if you know Thailand YouTube videos, you'll know that this is kind of like the figure that people can live on in Thailand quite comfortably. This was the kind of figure that I had in mind, that I wanted to hit this much revenue per month, and then that would allow me to move to Thailand. So almost as soon as I hit that figure, I kind of got impatient and was like, I just want to go now. But just about earning 1,000, it just wasn't enough. So that was my first mistake, was just coming too early. But that was before I got here. So when I got here, I didn't really have a set in stone entertainment outlet. It's like downtime. So, you know, at home you would pop the telly on or watch Netflix. You've done what you needed to do throughout the day, and then it's like chill time. In terms of hobbies, I didn't really have any. I think it was only like pool, but if you're playing pool, you're mostly going to be at the bars and stuff. So that kind of leads you astray some nights. The problem is if you don't have an entertainment outlet, you're gonna end up at the bars because if you're bored late at night and you're not sure what to do, and then you see your friends are out either partying or just socializing, I think being inside alone is such a killer, because then you get kind of FOMO, you've got fear of missing out of a good night with your mates, or even people you might bump into, like new people. So I think just that act of being social gets you out to the bars, and the bars is like a downward spiral. But then that leads on to mistake number 3. I didn't have an entertainment outlet, which meant I went out too much. So whether that's at the bars, whether that's clubbing, and then you start to make friends while you're out. But of course, if you're making friends in a place which you don't really want to go that much, it's like they say, like the people that you keep closest really important, because your 5 closest friends will tell a lot about you and influence where your life goes, really. So if all of your friends are out partying a lot, what are you going to do? You're going to be out partying as well. But if you had friends that sometimes did that, but most of the time they're switched on, they've got hobbies, they like to go out and do day trips, and they're work focused, then of course that's going to reflect onto you. There's certain entertainment outlets you have to be careful of, such as like golf, because if it starts raining during low season, it rains quite a lot, you're suddenly not doing that. Your schedule is all messed up, and now all of a sudden you're at the bars because there's nothing else to do. So I think if you're having something that's quite weather dependent, then you have to be a little bit careful. But I love playing pool, I love playing snooker. I should have found friends that like to do that in the professional places like Double Kiss or S1. Then you get involved into like the community there, which kind of flows into mistake number 4. If you're bored at home and it's the evening and then you see your friends are out partying, you're gonna want to join as well. That is a temptation. But in a city like Pattaya, there's temptation everywhere, because this is the city where everything is accessible at any hour, any day. But most importantly is when you have like a sad day or a bad day in general, because I feel like back in 2023, I was quite disciplined. I was going to the gym quite a lot. I was doing quite a bit on my work. I could have done a little bit more. But the problem is when you have a sad day or a bad day, which happens to all of us in Pattaya, you have dopamine at every angle. You can go out to the bars, you can go speak to some girls, you can go out clubbing. It's just generally those late nights are so tempting, because you know you're gonna go have a good time, but you know you shouldn't do it too often. But I found some days when work wasn't going too good, I could sense that like my business was not earning as much as it was in the UK. I was losing some clients. I wasn't focusing as much myself. I didn't have the discipline to just keep on going and really work hard every day. And I feel like that led to me having some bad days. And then what do you do when you feel sad and you're alone? You go out and try and cheer yourself up. So the problem with this city is if you want something, you can get it. And I mean, back then, not as much so now, but back then I loved partying. I loved going out to the clubs and socializing. And so when I did have a sad day, that was where I went, rather than having like an entertainment outlet or like a hobby to kind of invest into and lose my mind for a while. But then that leads into mistake number 5. Of course, if you're going out, you're gonna drink a lot. And there was countless nights where like I would drink, and weirdly enough, if this is the same for you, but when I get really drunk in Thailand, I don't really have that much of a hangover. But in England, I would drink the same amount, the same alcohol, but the next day my head would be pounding. But in Thailand, it's just I just feel really tired the next day. I just feel a bit like exhausted, and you know, I feel like the main thing is being dopamine depleted. And when you drink a lot, you're having a good time. And you know the classic saying that drinking is basically just borrowing happiness from the next day. And I feel like that's so true. And in Thailand, where if you was to have a bad day, I'd go out drinking with my friends, the next day, the knock-on effect is like, I've had so much dopamine in that night because the nights out in Thailand and Pattaya are crazy good. The next day, it's hard to be stimulated by anything. I can't sit down and get to work and kind of sit there and be like, you know, at the end of this day where I've done loads of work, I'm gonna feel really good about myself. I'm so dopamine depleted that I wouldn't think that, and then want to cheer myself up by doing stupid things like scrolling Instagram or scrolling TikTok, watching YouTube, and then the evening rolls around and, well, what do you know, I could go out again. So drinking alcohol really has like a huge knock-on effect, I feel. And then while all this is going on, it leads me on to mistake number 6, where at the time I was doing fitness content. I was trying to be an online fitness coach. I was doing a little bit of YouTube. Many of you may see my videos from 3 years ago, and doing the occasional stream. There wasn't like one thing I was focusing on, which of course it should have been like just fitness and just online coaching. But then trying to plan some YouTube here and there, then trying to do some streaming, and then I also had a mentor with my online fitness coaching. And then obviously I'm in Pattaya, so I'm trying to have like a life of my own, and then I'm seeing this girl, and you know, things just got a little bit hectic. And I feel like if you want to come to live in somewhere like this, you've got to have like laser focus. You've got to have one thing that you're focusing on and really go hard at it. Don't split your focus, because I just felt like with me, I felt some days I was so overwhelmed that I just stopped doing XYZ altogether and only focused on one thing. And then I get sad that the things that I didn't do haven't progressed. Mistake number 7 is one where many of you may struggle with. You're here and you're trying to kind of sustain yourself here, make sure that you don't go broke and have to go home, then you have to be careful of the kind of girls that you see. Not only for the fact that you're gonna have to spend time going out meeting girls, try and find the right one. If you find the right one, you're gonna be spending a lot of time together, which is gonna be great, but it's gonna take away from the time that you would have spent working on yourself, working on whatever you are doing to sustain yourself here. And then when things don't really go to plan, you're sad for a few days, and that interrupts your schedule, which means you end up at the bars. So it's very kind of emotionally draining. But like I say, that's a hard one to avoid, because you know, if you're coming to Thailand, you're probably going to come across some beautiful Thai girls, and to have the discipline to not get involved, it's impressive. So what does my life look like now? I have way more structure in my life. I have goals to work on. I want to get 100k subscribers on YouTube, so I'm focusing on content a lot more. Cut down on the streaming a little bit, because I ended up drinking quite a lot on my streams, and it's really just not that good of a mentality to be in. I have an entertainment outlet, which is gaming. I've been a gamer ever since I was a small boy, the likes of RuneScape or World of Warcraft. So right now, my outlet of entertainment is gaming. Fortunately enough, from my content and my streaming, have been going very well, and I actually ended up buying myself a full-scale PC here in Thailand with 2 monitors. Back in 2023, I only had like a small laptop, so it really wasn't the same. So I don't get tempted as often if I'm bored at home and people are inviting me out for nights out. I'm quite happy to sit there and play my game. Along with the fact of being consistent with the gym, I'm eating more healthy. Not sure how healthy a ham and cheese baguette is, but it's better than the likes of fast food and having multiple sangsoms of a night out. I practice gratitude daily. It sounds really silly, but I think if you get kind of caught up in the nightlife and the kind of busyness of Thailand, you can forget how nice this place is. Like most evenings now, I'm sitting out on my balcony and just for half an hour with no phone next to me, nothing, just enjoying the view and enjoying being here. And I think that does help if you're trying to settle down in a place, is to try to appreciate the little things around you. I also may be moving to Bangkok in September. I feel like Pattaya is an amazing city, whereas Bangkok is more for content, there's more events happening. So I think for YouTube, for me, it might be a good move, at least for 6 months. If it doesn't work out, then I'm coming straight back. I've also been learning Thai. ผมเรียนภาษาไทยมา4 เดือนครับเรียนภาษาไทยกับครูออนไลน์อาทิตย์ละ3 วันภาษาไทยยาก แต่ว่าชอบมาก In many cases, you have to fail to succeed. It's one of the best ways you can learn. I haven't got everything figured out, but 10 months ago, I came back with a different mindset, and things so far are going great. And for the first time, Thailand feels like somewhere I'm building a life rather than trying to escape one.
But there is a dark side of falling in love with Thailand. Even if you're coming here for a short holiday, life may never be the same again. I talk about it in detail in this video here. No cuts, no edits, just straight talk.